Our father of nation, Mahatma Gandhi, once said, there are people in the world so hungry that God cannot appear to them except in the shape of bread. Looking at the presence of hunger, it's so all pervasive that it seems that a statement given hundreds of years ago has become a timeless universal truth. Why, in the world of abundance production, hunger even exists? Inquiry into this paradox is my compass to navigate me through today's topic that explores to transcend the boundaries in mitigating global hunger by stemming the tide of food waste. Good morning, friends. Though today's topic is closely connected to my professional life, but it is very much embedded in at the core of my being. And why not? The lesson learned in the early life are engraved permanently. I was a young 7 years old girl, and every day I used to dine in my friend's house. Me and my sister every day would have our lunch in their house. And there, our aunt would give us half roti in one go. In the auditorium, many of you who are coming from the Maharashtrian culture must be appreciating this fact that half roti is given in one go. And we would wonder, why aunt can't give us full roti? She just give us half roti in one go. She would also insist us to finish food in the plate. The first lesson of the life was learned, that you are not supposed to leave food in the plate. At the same time, this half roti concept enabled me to estimate my hunger properly. After some years, we moved from this smaller city to even smaller town. And many of you who are coming from the small town must be aware that invitations of ceremonies, marriages, and community dinings are very often. As a kid, we would love to go there. And why not? Because diverse food was offered. But often, to our dismay, few uncles would be standing close to the plate discarding bin. And they are there to ensure that no one leaves anything in the plate. Even to the embarrassment of one, they will ask you to finish your food then and there itself close to that bin. The second lesson of the life was learned. Whether in home or outside, you are not supposed to leave food. By these two instances, this became my virtue, a good virtue or set of my ethics. However, I never considered it as a problem until the next instance of my life. So some 1 year back, me and my friends, some 8 families and some 25 people, we were on a road trip to Khandala, one small hill station closer to Mumbai. On the way, we stopped to a food court. And everyone in the group rushed to different corners of food court to get all sort of food, probably to show their affection and concerns for the group member, without realizing the actual requirement of food. And it resulted into lots of waste. We all were puzzled what to do. And out of confusion, you know what we did? We ate extra. We loaded ourselves with extra calories. Not only that, we tried to get along some food which never came to use. We also catch hold of one housekeeping staff there. But funnily, she too had some extra food few minutes ago left by one of our previous group. Jokes apart, none of us felt good that we wasted so much of food. Something undesirable, unintentional, and avoidable. That was the moment of life. Everyone has moment in life. Sometimes life-changing moments, sometimes heart-changing moments, and sometimes thought-changing moments. It was a moment of my life. I went back home and started exploring data. All sort of data, all variety of data. Hunger involved. Reason for hunger. Food waste and production. I found that production at world level is impressive. We are producing a lot at world level. But these data, in the abstract term, were not of my use because there was not a possibility to estimate it in the human need. So with some basic mathematics and a little knowledge of food, I converted this production into calorific value by multiplying the production with the calorie count in one particular kind of food item. And then I divided it with 365 days and divided it with 2,500 kilocalorie, which is a requirement of an adult being. And results were shocking. The current food production at world can feed 14 billion people. And we are just 8 billion. Various reports of UN Food and Agriculture Organization states that 800 million people do not have access to sufficient food and they are starving. 3.1 billion people don't have access to healthy food. After this, I started exploring why the hunger is existing. I found many reasons, and reasons were complex and multiple. But one reason was simple to understand: food waste and food loss. I tried to trace all the patterns where the food waste or the food loss is happening. And what I found, I found that all the patterns are full of paradoxes. I told you that I want to explore the paradoxes, and here I explored and inquired how the paradoxes exist in every single pattern of food waste and food loss. Some of the very few patterns that I came across, you must have heard of or seen it or have been part of it. So one of the first pattern I came across was about the bumper crop. A bumper crop is a crop, unusual, excess yield. A farmer should be happy. A farmer should be happy about the fact that he has excess yield in his farm. But that does not happen. With the glutted produce, prices go down. At the same time, the same farmer does not have access to market, access to fair price, or supply chains are unavailable. Even sometimes, they don't get the price which can cover the value of freight which it takes for shifting the crop or the harvest from farm to the mandis, bazaars. And out of frustration, the same farmer throws them, dumps them on the road. At the same moment, the same onion and tomatoes become pricey affair, making it out of reach for many of us. Don't you think it is a paradox in itself? Pattern number 2. We have sufficient harvest to feed our people, but we are unable to control the rodents. And these tiny rodents damages a big portion of crop. At one hand, we are unable to kill these rodents to save our produce. At another hand, we cannot save our farmers too from committing suicide. Number 3, we all go supermarkets. And in supermarkets, expiry dated food or the food which is closer to expiry date are accumulated. And later on, if nobody has picked them, they are dumped. Don't you think that the same food before the expiry could have been shared with the people who are in actual need rather than dumping it on the roads or in some place? At the same time, at some distant location, in a refuge shelter, people are dying out of hunger. Number 4, we all resort to overstocking at home without realizing that how good we are in food management. And because of our callous attitude, a portion of food gets lost, gets rotten, or you will find that in one fine day, in a jar of a grain, tiny insects are roaming, making the food unfit for human consumption. At the same time, at world level, 11 people are dying out of hunger every minute. Number 5, we all love dining out. And thinking that second order may take time. So thinking in advance, we order extra food so that we don't need to wait for our remaining food without estimating correctly that what we require actually. And the food in the serving bowl directly goes to the waste discarding bin. At the same time, Some 100 and 1,000 bowls are waiting outside for food to be poured in. Number 6, we all throw parties, birthdays, fat weddings with lavish menu without realizing that this much food even cannot be eaten and without bothering that what will happen to the remaining food. And results are simple. The excess leftover food is shifted to the landfill, creating a dirty and unhygienic environment around our cities. Even this wet waste is responsible for 8 to 10% of global greenhouse gas emission, leading to the global warming. If you say the nutrient contained in this food product, which is reaped out of soil that existed in the farmland, the same nutrient content goes to the landfill and never reaches back to the soil where it was grown, and leaving our farm barren day by day. Number 7, we all leave food in our plate without realizing that a mother, a homemaker, a lady who has created this, who has cooked it with love and compassion for you, she herself is fighting with nutritional hunger. In India itself, 53% of female in reproductive age are suffering from different levels of anemia. Don't you think, friends, this is big enough? And it all counts for 1/3 of global production to get lost or wasted, which is good enough to feed 2.8 billion people. In the economic term, it is equivalent to the GDP of Netherlands, Saudi Arab Emirates, and double to the GDP of Singapore, Malaysia, South Africa, and Denmark. Still wondering why in the world of plenty, people are starving? Should not be. What it changed in me post this reality check? So post this reality check, I became part of solution rather than problem. I started small things. Now, whenever I go out for dining, I ensure that excess food is carried along and given away to some needy person. Whenever I am flying, I ensure that extra food served is removed at first and then given away to some housekeeping staff at airport itself. I am more conscious to place an order for online and offline material. At my home, I do take care that I am not overstocking. The food prepared is in the appropriate quantity. And if in excess, then reuse is possible by some other human being, by myself, or to some animal, and at the last for composting, but never for a landfill. As a professional, I became more committed. I started, along with my team, we started forging a group of individuals, professionals, food recovery agencies, donating arms, eateries, restaurants, hotels. And we are even trying to create an app where the surplus food can be recorded, can be intimated to the recovery agencies, and thereby they can give it away to the needy people. Even at the level of FSSAI, we are making a big change through our initiative, Share Food, Save Food, Share Joy. So in this initiative, we are trying to change social and behavioral aspect of people. We are encouraging people for this. We are inspired and we are inspiring others to put such messages which can change or modify the behavior of a person to have a responsible consumption. Don't you think that such a small message is very powerful and impactful? Take all you can eat, but eat all you take. Even at the level of whole government of India, changes are happening. Uttaranchal has become first state in India to completely digitize public distribution system. Instead of ration shops, grain ATMs have been installed. Don't you think this will be a game changer for a commoner, empowering them? Even a simple lady can disburse the grain at any point of time for herself and for her family without leaving any scope for pilferage. That happens at ration shops. Don't you think that these mobile storage units would help those farmers who has excess yield in their farms to store their food, to store their harvest for the right time to be sold? Article 47 of Indian Constitution casts the responsibility on government to raise the level of nutrition of Indians. Article 21 of Indian Constitution enshrines the fundamental right to have life. And this right includes the right to have food security. In 2013, government amalgamated Food Security Act by ensuring food security for every Indian. Even government machinery is going big way for food fortification, not only to meet the hunger of your stomach, but the hunger of nutrition. Now, what I can do as an individual? So look around you and be sensitive about your surrounding. Be alert about your duties and act as a rational human being by following the simple food waste hierarchy. Remember, there is a better possible way for every grain before it reaches to waste discard bin. Imagine a world where every grain wasted is a missed opportunity to fill a hungry belly. Statistics are not meant to paralyze us with guilt, but to galvanize us with action. And every one of us, you, me, and I, everyone has a power to set it in motion. The common code that we all share, and the shared emotion that is humanity. So let that shared emotion be our driving force for the choices we make. As we part way, I would just ask, who are there with me in this journey? Just raise your hand. And raise your hands if you all want to be the agent of change. Thank you very much.